So I'm sitting here in beautiful Canada, a long way off from Ireland, and I'm watching the squirrels. I'm watching the weather shift. I'm listening to the birds, specifically blue jays. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, God, this nearly didn't happen. I nearly gave in to an old story. I nearly gave into this old paradigm. I nearly gave into this old idea that I had, this fear-based idea that I had, that I don't do international travel anymore. I struggle to do international travel. And I'd told myself this story and I'd just made that a part of my identity. I'd gotten so used to this idea, I'd made it a part of my identity. So as I sit here and I reflect, and it feels like I'm watching the season change in real time. It feels like I'm watching the colours on the trees change in front of my very eyes. I swear they've gotten more and more yellow over the last 3 days that I've been here. And as I sit here, I'm thinking, I nearly didn't do this. I nearly didn't do this. You see, pre-2015, which is when I had my nervous breakdown, pre-2015, I was a great traveller. I loved travelling. My grandparents and my maternal family live in California. So I would go out to California for months at a time and I loved it. And then I had my nervous breakdown. And then I had this idea that I can't travel anymore and I don't like international travel and I don't like being away from home by myself without my husband. And so it was one thing that I thought that I'd given up. It was one thing that I thought that was no longer a part of my life. And then I invested in my mentor. And my mentor is incredible. And she's based in Canada. And when I invested in my mentor, I was part of the mentorship was a day with her in Canada. And I wasn't going to pass that up. But I still had a pattern that was running. So my passport required a renewal. And I was aware it required a renewal. And I waited for as long as possible before I sent off the renewal. Because then if the renewal didn't come, I was able to say, oh, I didn't get my passport in time. And here's the thing about when the universe wants you to do something and you move in faith. As I sent that passport application off, I said to the universe, I trust that if I'm meant to go and you want me there, this passport will be with me in time and I'll book my flights. The passport that was meant to take a minimum of 3.5 weeks to get back to me was back in my hand in under 10 days. And so I booked my flight and then I was terrified. But I knew that fear and excitement both show up in the body the same way. They both feel the same. You get the kind of sweaty palms, you get the racing heart. It's very much like fear and it's very much like excitement. And so I chose to shift my perspective constantly towards a direction of what it was that I wanted instead of this fear. So I made myself as excited as I could. I thought about all the incredible things I was going to be doing, the incredible family that I was going to be staying with, who are friends from Ireland. So crazy. Everything was already set for me. I just had to make the decision courageously that this is what I was going to do. And so I did. So I wanted to share with you how I did this, how I shifted an old pattern in real time and chose something new. Because this traveling alone thing has opened up so much for me. So in order for me to be able to get into a space of being able to travel by myself, I had to overcome that fear. I had to recognize that fear and excitement both feel the same in the body. Therefore, I allowed myself every time that I remembered, oh God, I'm going away, it's really happening. I reminded myself that feeling is so similar to excitement. So I constantly and consistently shifted my perspective, my inner perspective. I chose better feeling thoughts. I chose better feeling ideas. I just continually did that. And that's how I managed the overthinking. In any given moment, we're able to talk to ourselves. And it's in the talking to ourselves that we're able to regulate ourselves. We're able to manage the self-speak. We're able to manage the projection of fear and anxiety onto our future. And we're able to rein it in and get conscious, get present, and consciously choose the conversation that we want to have. We don't We don't have to give in to our thoughts. We aren't our thoughts. We are the ones thinking our thoughts. And the more we practice, and ironically, the time to practice is during challenge. So the more you practice it, the more conscious you become, the more you're able to overcome that anxiety-based, fear-based thinking. And you can't do that unless you practice it, which you can only do through challenge. I had to remind myself that I am in charge of my thoughts. I am the one that is thinking them. I can choose new thoughts. I can choose new feelings that match those thoughts. And I can just percolate that. I had to remind myself that faith and fear are both a vibration, and I have the ability to control that. I have the ability to change my point of attraction, which is how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. So I have the ability to shift my inner world, which ultimately will shift my outer world. I had to remind myself that I'm choosing this experience. I'm not being forced into this experience. I had to remind myself that I'm a portal of energy, that energy flows to and through me, and I can make this mean wherever I want. And so I had to remind myself of my why. Why do I want to go? What is it that I want to achieve here? What is my ultimate goal? What is my ultimate dream? And that level of thinking, that ability to think outside of circumstance, opens up your prefrontal cortex. It allows you to think with more clarity, and it allows you to think with less fear. Your amygdala isn't in charge in that moment. You are. You're becoming aware. You're becoming aware of an old pattern running through your body. And so you consciously choose something else. Why? Because it's worth it. This is your life. Your life is waiting. God, if I hadn't have done this, I would have been sitting at home thinking, God, I wish I was there this weekend. God, I wish I'd done it. God, I wish I'd had the courage. And that's the next part. Courage. Courage is everything. Courage is the defining line between consciousnesses. It's the ability to have courage to go after what it is that you want that separates you between achieving a thing or not. That became very clear to me when I was sitting in Ireland. I was very much like, I don't want to do this. And then remind myself that I can choose courage though in this moment. I've done this before. I can do it again. I have the ability. I can pray. I can journal. I can do all those things. But I've got to start with courage, and I've got to pray for courage. And so I did. And here I am. Courage is everything. The universe, God, Source is courageous. Source has nothing to fear. So if Source has nothing to fear and you are a conduit for Source, you have nothing to fear. This is how I speak to myself. This is how I tell myself stuff. And I'm telling you in the same way I would tell myself. It's the same way I tell myself. Manage your self-talk and you will manage your life. It is really that simple. But it takes work. It takes work to do this work when you're in the middle of a muddle. It takes work and being present. It takes work to look at yourself and think, oh, do you know what? I want to feel something different. I want to do something different. Another thing I noticed was I was thinking about what I didn't want. And that is a habit that I have chosen to shift over the last 10 years. I was thinking about what I didn't want. I didn't want to feel like this. I didn't want to experience turbulence. I didn't want to. So what did I choose instead? I chose to think about what I did want instead. You see, if I said to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what are you going to do? You're going to think of a pink elephant before you think about anything else. Have you ever seen a pink elephant? So where did that imagination come from? You have the ability to imagine anything you want. The universe's answer to us is always yes. And so when we're in a space where we are saying, I don't want X, the universe says, let me arrange for you to not want more of X. And so you'll repeat the cycle. But instead, I was like, I want to experience a great smooth flight. I want to experience so much fun. I want to eat good airplane food, if that's possible. I want to have fun on the other side. I want to meet my people. I want to experience the weather. Just started to think about all of that. Shifted the vibration completely. Why? Because I consciously chose to shift it. Your thoughts are electric, your feelings are magnetic, and the two of those combined are determining what we're pulling to ourselves. This is our point of attraction. You are always in charge of your point of attraction, and that is the work. It doesn't matter what the situation is, whether it's a relationship you want, a new job you want, you are the point of attraction. Checking in with yourself will put you in optimum position to be able to take control and choose the direction that you want to go in instead. Finally, something else I did this week was lots of mental rehearsal, lots of visualization, lots of affirming, and not just wishful, hopeful kind of affirmations, truthful affirmations. What I'm connected to, who I am, what it is that I'm going to experience. And I spent time visualizing. I spent time thinking about it and really getting into the feeling of it, pretty much feeling what I'm feeling right now, pretty much being where I am right now, pretty much doing this. It was all an idea in my head. And so I just visualized it. And here I am. When you give your brain an endpoint, it will start to work from that endpoint. So what do you want? And think of that, and then visualize that, mentally rehearse that. The greatest people in our world mentally rehearse. Mentally rehearse what it is that you want. Don't mentally rehearse the problems and the challenges that you experience or have experienced. Practice this. It is mind-blowing. It is so powerful. It is so incredible. And you're sitting on this power. The potential of activating this power is within you. Nobody else can do it for you, but I can certainly tell you about it because I'm sitting here doing it. You have so much potential just waiting for you to tap into, and you'll tap into it by choosing a new idea and a new way of being. My God, isn't that worth it? Okay, so what are the after effects then of me choosing myself, of me choosing a whole new vision, of me choosing to step on that plane and come here to Canada by myself? The after effects are that I am so happy. I feel so empowered. I feel so courageous. I feel like I can do anything. I feel invincible. I feel so connected to source. I feel so ready for anything because I overcame that. And now I know I can do it. So what is it that you want to do that maybe you've been looking for a sign that you should do it? Please let this be your sign. Do it. Just do it. You won't even know yourself on the other side. You'll be like, wow, why did I wait so long? So if you've been waiting on a sign to do something, just go do it. I promise you, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like feeling empowered from within and knowing that you created that. I have more self-belief. I have a stronger faith. I have a stronger connection to source. And I can't explain other than I feel like there's a valve that's just been kind of spun on inside of me and source is flowing at a greater rate. That's what choosing yourself does. That's what choosing courage does for you. So remember, your present moment is your most powerful. The future is an idea in your head. The past is an idea in your head. Your present moment, this moment here is where you do your creation. This moment here is all that you ever have. By the time the future arrives, it's the present moment, and then it's the past. So get connected to your present moment because this moment is the moment that creates. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. How do you speak to yourself? What are you thinking to yourself all day long? You are listening to it and your body is responding to it. What are you saying to yourself? How do you speak to yourself? What's the language you use? Are you talking in terms of what you want or what you don't want? One of the ways I have taught my clients to get present, to capture the thoughts, is by making time to mop, making time to create moments of presence. Those moments of presence where you set an alarm for yourself and you check in with, oh, what was I thinking? Where was my mind just now? Was I projecting a fear-based thought onto the future? Was I worrying about something in the past? Or was I present? This tool itself is worth everything because it's in the present moment that you have access to all potentialities in the universe. So check in with yourself. What are you thinking? Where was your mind? And then come back, recognize it. Don't judge yourself. Recognize that I was feeling something. And then remind yourself who you are, what you're created for, who created you, what it is that you love, what it is that you want to do with your life. Get present, get focused, start dreaming, start believing. And if there's one other thing I want to say, is believe it to see it. Don't wait to see it before you believe it because that's not faith. That's just fact. Choose faith. Your faith is fact. And you'll see that the more you apply it. So believe it to see it. What is it that you want? Set yourself something and then go after it. and choose something you've never done before. Choose something that the masses won't choose. Choose something. Choose the thing that you want to do. Choose the thing that you keep putting away. Choose that and go after it boldly, courageously, and with faith, knowing that the universe has you covered at every step. Every single step is covered. I pray that this served you in some way. I pray that you will do that thing that will remind you that you have all power and potentiality within you, and it's within your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. The moment you step into that, the moment you trust that the universe has your back, I promise you, everything begins to work out for you in ways that you couldn't even imagine. You couldn't even imagine. For example, the friends that I'm staying with, I met them in Ireland, and they moved here 10 years ago, and now I'm here at their house. How? I had no idea, but they were here waiting for me. You can't make this stuff up. Let life in. Let life in, and you will see it's been trying to get your attention for so long. On that note, I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my wonderful trip. We're going to Niagara Falls today, so I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my trip, and I will see you in the next video. I'm sending you love. I wish you peace and blessings in all things always, and may you know your greatness today and every day. Dream big, choose big, expect big, receive big. See you next time.